Firstly, I'd like to say thank you for giving me the opportunity to reflect and share my personal journey of community development. For myself, I started with the Neighbourhood Hub 3 years ago as a student. I volunteered for 9 months and then was given the opportunity to join the team. I feel community development is something that is just at the core of who I am as a person. I feel my experience of working in the hair and beauty industry for 18 years has really equipped me to be attuned to hearing people's stories and just taking that time to listen and build relationships with people. I had this desire that something needed to change. The challenge, honestly, has come from service delivery model. So there is this immense ownership of everything that you do. There's immense pressure on reporting and capturing all the data so that it travels up the line. Service delivery requires a lot of data collection, a lot of reporting. We're limited on our time that we can spend in our groups. And that really takes away the personal relationship building opportunity. I find myself continuously pulling myself up to not lead. This isn't about me. This isn't about what I have to report on. I'm taking the lead from the groups. I'm taking the lead from the women. So I have to be a lot more flexible with my time and know that while I'm there, I'm devoted to that purpose with the group. The beautiful relationships that come from that. The vulnerability of my community is opened up to me. There's opportunity to really explore the unknown with them. They will bring to you the needs of the broader community. The pressure is really taken off our shoulders. And I think that's something we're not used to if we're to really be honest with ourselves. I'm lucky enough to have the working environment and team environment where we are encouraged to do the weird, the wonderful, and the different. We're encouraged to take bold steps, to try something different. And I think by having such a supportive management, I know that I'm in a safe place to try something different, that there are no repercussions if I fail. The key message today is be bold. There's no harm in failing. There's every opportunity that you will succeed. If I can encourage you today to just take the time to build relationships, take the time to listen, be present in the moment, be genuine, and see where that takes you. See where that takes the relationships you build in this community development framework.
Thank you for having me today. My name is Val. I work at the Neighborhood Center here in Mackay. And today I would like just to tell you a story about my journey as a community development worker and how I started exploring community development methodology within the work that I do here. So here's a little bit of backstory. At the Neighborhood Hub, we do have a few multicultural and migrant programs, including groups like World Cafe and Cold Women's Club. And I guess this story ties in with a project of creating a digital story to share journeys of migrants, migrant women, and stories of resilience. As I heard a lot of stories and shared a similar journey myself, I thought it would be a wonderful opportunity to share these stories through a video. Let the broader community know about what migrants go through. A funding opportunity came up to apply for some funding to share, to create a video of stories of migrants. And as you know, as it happens in the current environment, an opportunity comes up and usually there is no time. Usually you just need to apply quickly. So which we did, we applied and kind of forgot about it. But also should say, like, this application was informed by my conversations with women and my personal journey, but we didn't engage with women to actually discuss what this application should look like. So after we did that, that was end of last year, I thought that maybe we could still work on a video with our Cold Women's Club. We did have one digital story created previously. So regardless of the funding outcome, I thought it would be great to create another one. So my initiative was to meet with the Cold Women's Club, and we discussed it. A couple of women said they would be willing to participate. A couple more were hesitating, but with some support, and saying, hey, you can do this, we will help you. They agreed as well. So we left it there because coronavirus happened. It's interesting how when listening to the women's stories then, I heard them, but I didn't see them through a community development lens. So my response was straight away to service delivery. I can just take this idea and take the lead on it. I also had a privilege of starting to explore the community development methodology with a mentor, Carmel Davison. And I also had and still have a wonderful colleague, Toni, who started sharing this journey with me around, so what is community development and what it is not. We had some time to actually sit and think, what can we do to explore this project through a community development perspective? And unpacking the reasons behind that, I guess we could see two purposes of this project. Like the initial response of service delivery, let's just take it on and do it, would be a purpose of, I guess, satisfying the funding body, meeting the expectations of the general manager, management committee. But there could be another purpose for this project, stepping back and seeing an overarching purpose of, but this project can also give ownership and voice to these women and let them grow and participate in it and own it. Kind of really spoke to myself, like my values. And after sitting with that, we decided to give it a go. We decided to risk it. And here I think it's important for me to say that at that time, I felt like I needed to spend time and really analyze and reflect on why I do what I do. Why did I want to be courageous and explore this path? So why did I feel that it is important to give the ownership to women and not take over completely over this process? And I think it's very important for anyone, I guess, who works in the sector to really be aware of what drives you as a person and as a practitioner. And thinking about that, I could see that my core values that I see as values of social justice, human rights, and respect really spoke to me in terms of why I want to take the risk and give it a go. And I thought, and I thought it was very important to trust the process while also be supported by a mentor and my colleague. After we deliberately committed to this, to exploring this methodology through this project, the challenges that I faced were, it's a very short-term project. We still need to deliver on it against the funding agreement objectives, and my own insecurities, like I could just take the lead on this project and do an amazing job, but that would be my project. It would benefit the organization and myself, but it wouldn't probably benefit as much the participants, migrant women. And to make it work, I think it was important for myself we took the funding agreement objectives and what we need to report against, and put it together with the community development methodology, and looked at how we can match the methodology steps of working on self, creating one-on-one relationships, and bringing a group together as process outcomes to still meet the overall objectives of the funding agreement. It is a creative process, and personally, I must admit that it was difficult. What I realized what we could do is only create timeframes of when we want something to happen, or by when something needs to happen. For example, by this time, we should probably start filming the video, and by this time we need to do that. But that is it. We could not put any details in this time frame, in this plan, because the details do not belong to us. We do give the ownership to the women, and they decide what the details are. So if initially we thought as a service delivery lens, the story will tell about courage and resilience of migrant women. So the goal of this project became not creating the story about this, but giving the voice to the women to share what they want to share. We took, oh my God, it was difficult. It was really difficult. It was, okay, how do we start creating a new relationship with a few women, one-on-one, meeting just to talk, just to ask how they're doing without bringing any agenda, and not asking any questions around asking them to do anything within that meeting. But what worked for me is basically just a little bit of preparation and reflection before I go in that one-on-one space. And the only goal that I had was just to listen. I'm just there to listen and to be with you. Naturally, because I'm a migrant myself, I connected with them around the journey of a migrant to Australia. And that took us to discussions around how difficult it can be, what the challenges are, how sometimes others do not understand what women go through. And that naturally and organically led to the discussion of it would be great to let others know. So I really wanted to just jump on that opportunity and ask, well, do you want to tell your story on a camera? Being self-aware, I did not do that. I basically paused, listened, and it organically happened that some of the women were interested in letting the broader community know. For some, it was more of a social emotional support of other challenges, which is absolutely marvelous, because even though it did not assist on my journey of still doing that digital story, but it created a beautiful connection with me and that woman, and I still listened and I still connected with her. So not everyone ended up sharing ideas about talking to the broader public, which is okay. And I think it was important also to do it at the pace of the woman. Do not rush, and really trust and listen. Those one-on-one relationships were beautifully established with some of the concerns similar. And that's when we thought, oh, okay, we have 6 women now who in some shape or form would like to participate in something like that. And we had 6 women, which is, I think, a bit of a big group. It was really difficult to find day and time to meet together. But it's wonderful how naturally, after talking to them one-on-one, they themselves identified their strengths and hopes for this idea. And it naturally fell into 2 smaller groups of a production team, and a group of women who would like to speak and share their voice. Now we are at the stage when we're working with the smaller groups, and what helped us, or myself, is after every meeting, like every week, just sit down and reflect and keep a diary of what we heard, how we use the community development methodology, what were the challenges that I personally faced, what was easy, what was really difficult, and just revisit that. It helps you look at a bigger picture and helps me stay connected to the overarching purpose of giving ownership and giving the voice to the women.